Hello everyone and welcome to Roulette Rivals 8 presented by 47 Speedrun community. Today's game is a console winners bracket round 3 match between the RR7 console runner-up and RR finalist the buff guy and the 6-time console RR champion Ducker. This is a rematch of last tournament's console final and no doubt the most anticipated game of the console bracket, so I'm very happy to share the booth with my great friend and 3-time RR champion Yannini. Welcome.
Hello, so glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's gonna be an amazing match. We have Buff Guy versus Ducker, two very well-known players. Ducker, of course, our record champion, needs no introduction. Won 6 out of 7 RRs that's been had so far, and absolute console dominator. And Buff Guy is challenging him. Both into R6 now, and yeah, last tourney they've clashed for the first time and the 2 times as well in the winners bracket final and in the grand final. So we do have a bit of history with those two.
Yeah, well, the most successful console player ever and probably the best upcoming, not even a newcomer now, the buff guy starting in RR6 almost a year ago. And also, this is only round 3, but so much history in their tournament so far. Buff has defeated Keep It Cool in round 1, that then got a walkover against 420, which would have been a nice match, but wasn't meant to be. Meanwhile, Ducker had 2 matches so far, a 4-0 win against Speedster, another RR finalist by the way, and a 3-1 win against Soviet Dubov, which included a Paris 0-second tie.
Yeah, absolute madness.
Yeah. And as you said very well, I think this is all about the rematch. They have played twice. The semi-final match started with the buff guy win, which sent Ducker down to the losers bracket to play his own semi-final there, which he won against HITMAN, I would say. But they did meet again, in which case Ducker got that 8-4 win and got that 6th title, breaking his own record once again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's about both matches last tourney between them were extremely close, I have to say. So it could have really gone either way. But it was a great final to see for sure, and yeah, makes this one all the more exciting. We have first to 6th match again, which means yeah, just more action, you know, and of course also a bit fairer. And we really hope the best player should win this match and move on.
Yeah, speaking of moving on, the winner will play Toby Norton in round 4, which will be a round of 6 match, if you shall say. That you are guaranteed top 6 with that, and if you win that, then you are top 3 and just 1 match away from the grand final. This is closing in for them, of course. The loser will play Chrome X in the loser bracket round 4.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, no, it's not high. I mean, it's not the highest stakes yet, but of course, a top 6 spot is pretty sweet. But I do think both of these players will go very far. I mean, from Ducker we don't expect anything else on the finals, and from Buff now as well, with his very nice run last tournament. So you know, could be a potential final, but you never know. Like, it's actually pretty rare that we have like the same final twice in a row or something, you know. But it's always open for surprises.
The console finals have been mostly so far Ducker against always someone else. I think only Speedster getting 2 finals, but just the field is getting better and better, and then who knows, Buff may be one of the new finalists or someone even more. First spin of the day, and I think it's better if we start with you for the Santa Fortuna spin.
Okay, thank you. We have for Rico Delgado as Hans Assault Rifle as Street Soldier. We have for Jorge Franco Injected Poison as Hippie. And for Andrea Martinez, we have the Machete as Hippo Whisperer. Okay.
So nothing obnoxious at the first look, but a little bit of everything apart from accident. Of course, the poison obviously not going to result in a body found, but at least we got that, which is the live kill here, 1 firearm kill and 1 melee kill, which is a large one as well.
Yeah, very true. And I mean, that is, of course, I mean, the melee items are always been spread out, so it's interesting where they are. The machete is, of course, found in the cocoa fields. So you can't really start with that. Of course, you can isolate Andrea early or something. That's definitely possible. But you can't kill her, like, right away. I mean, you can't really... You know, the disguise from the villa and the machete from the cocoa fields. So that might be looking at something that is more at the end.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to note that the Andrea kill in the village requires two parts, which is both are far away from each other and from Andrea, the Hippo Whisperer, of course, near the construction site and I guess close to the mansion area, and the machete is just Coca Field, so it's like the triangle around the map, so probably going to be towards the end for her.
Yeah, that seems pretty likely. Now, both players are starting as matches off and are looking to isolate. I mean, I'm not sure what they're doing. I mean, of course, they're isolating Rico because it's the assault rifle siege soldier kill. They're doing him in a different fashion though. Buff guy peekabooing him in this room, and Ducker just kind of missed that from the timing wise maybe. Just knocked him plain out. It's tracked to the guarded side. I mean, it was a bit scary maybe, but let's see if you can drag him inside without problems. The guards should turn around soon, like the two roaming guards.
Very nonchalant KO, but seems to work out for him. Of course, the opening strategy of Santa Fortuna is something that these players have down to the really tiniest thing, I guess. And luckily working for both of them. The first try buff with yellow guns, Dakar with green, but it's not going to be the biggest difference on this map.
I love the similarity here. Both really both grabbing the silent pistol here. And Dakar was just waiting a bit longer because he wanted to avoid that camera. Because already had yellow guns, so it didn't matter for him really that much. I mean, it's trespassing of course, but did avoid that slightly. Now this is really mirrored so far, which is great to see. They're both now running out of the compound towards the village area, which I find very interesting. Of course, Hippie, like for the Jorge kill, we need to Hippie these guys, which is in the village. For Rico, you also need Street Soldier, but it's a bit spread out, but also mostly in the village. So that makes a lot of sense.
The one tiny difference between their maps so far is the location of the loadout. Buff has the agency pickups here at the I guess it's called construction area, but it's next to the main start. It will be a briefcase with the silence they are.
Yeah.
And Dakar has it in the Coca field.
Ooh. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, depending on the plans that might or might not affect it. Now also both players gonna knock out Andrea while they're like it's showing another can assistant.
Luckily, as a good roulette player, he already has 4 melee items at 3 minutes, so you can just get backups.
Very true. You can't have enough of those.
And I mean, this is just top-notch roulette, which sometimes result in very similar strats used at the same time. Both are getting the street soldier disguise, and would be imagining both of them getting up to shoot the evidence. Doesn't matter that Buff still has green guns, which turned red a while ago, and now he's caught on camera. So now, of course, both will have to take care of it. No difference there, and very straightforward so far.
Yeah, but it is. I think it's very interesting that they have so similar approaches. Like, of course, with some maps, some spins, you're always saying, okay, well, that's pretty obvious what they're gonna do here. Santa Fortuna is not really typically one of those. You can have always a lot of possible approaches that you can take. So I find it really interesting that they are pretty much mirrored.
Yeah, I guess it's looking at a spin from the real-time perspective. That was their first idea, and it may or may not be the quickest in-game time-wise, but it's quick enough and simple enough to start with. And sure enough, it's quite basic with starting Rico and then having these 2 KOs in 3 minutes.
Indeed. That is very true, of course. Now, Darko got the hippie disguise already. Of course, going to wait a bit, but it's still very close. There's nothing, can't really say one has a lead over the other. But as I said, Darko doesn't have the agency pickup yet. Buff guy does. If that makes a difference, I don't know. Buff guy also has a street soldier already, so
yeah.
I'm not sure. I mean, he can't carry both these guys at once. So it looks like that's really the first deviation here. So Dakar gonna go, just get the hippie disguise and go straight for the coca fields, and Buff guy is gonna go in with the street soldier, kill Rico, and then get back and get the hippie disguise.
So many approaches here, which if you can think of at the same time, like Dakar isn't forced to get get that street soldier back, because after getting the kill, there are these roaming too, which are much closer to Rico.
Yeah.
So all things considered, it's not going to be as much of a detour for him, perhaps, but different kills now. Finally, that deviation, and we won't really be able to see who's much ahead, of course, unless there is some restarts.
Yeah. We will see later, of course, if there are no restarts. It would be really interesting to see. But I think we'll even out slightly. I think it also depends a lot on the Jorge timing, because they will have different Jorge timings, and depending on how they deal with that, there could be either advantageous or disadvantageous. Now, buff guy preparing the skill is gonna be very carefully that no one sees him. No one heard that. It was silent. Still gonna box him anyway. Why not? And has now got the got skies, which means he can move freely. He doesn't go back to the hippie area immediately. Looks like he wants to get the Hippo Whisper first, maybe. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, since as Hippo Whisperer, it's not impossible, and I don't say that you can't do it, but it will be really hard to transport the machete around the whole map. So it would be it would be a strange order to do these two things in, but I'll leave it up to him.
Also, a thing to consider is that was very nice from Ducker. Oh, he just Jorge walking through the bushes, and he just poked him and ran. No need for any isolations. That was really cool.
Yeah, beautiful there. Always nice to see this whole sequence. I think it's really funny as the guards first can't really follow the really quick Jorge and then just go away as they please. So that's the first kill of Tucker, and now 1 kill each.
Yeah, I'm also interested. So you mentioned at the Hippo Whisperer, it's gonna be hard to transport that around. But you can transport the machete in a briefcase, but I'm not sure where Buff's briefcase, whether it seems to have been gone.
I had down the machete as something that you can't transport in a briefcase, but I believe you.
I'm like 95% certain, but I'm whatever.
My number is not that high, so
okay.
I guess you win. We'll see very shortly. Anyway.
Let's see. Fine either way.
All right, you win this one.
Cool. So this is sketchy by Ducker, but that works out.
It's
so
a
this
really
is very
dangerous body,
interesting.
but yeah.
Trying to catch what's going on here really. Buff got the Hippo Whisperer, and then run back to the village. So he got that first. So now he has that in the village already, which is very cool. Because he needs to get to Andrea later. So that might be a very nice idea. Just gonna run straight through there to the coca fields. But I'm really not sure what's ahead here. I think both will finish rather soon.
So Ducker has no isolations remaining, but Buff is getting really close to that live kill. He will be held back by the botany lab because Jorge is inside, but once he's out, and I think Buff will be stalking him from these tall bushes, he can get that seeker shot and he'll have the kill really soon. And I think this approach of him will solve the machete issue, which is really a non-issue then after hearing that it fits in a briefcase, that he might or might not or likely will get a guard disguise and just transport the machete that way to the village for his last kill.
Yeah, for sure. And now he got Buff guy got Jorge secured, so that should be his second kill down very soon. And Ducker is making his way to the village, has the machete, has the disguise, and then only to come back with the street soldier. So I think it's gonna be really close. And you might say Ducker has an advantage here, because Buff. Not really. Buff that guy also has this guy's stashed there. It might be a bit of a longer walk there. But Ducker also has to run to Andrea first and get back. So I think it's gonna be really, really close.
it's something that's really hard to calculate. The running remains for Buff from the cocoa field to the village, and then from the Andrea compound to an exit, and that needs to be compared with the Tucker from where he is, a very short jog, to Andrea's compound, and then back to the mansion, which is a bit closer, and the exit is right there. If I think Dakar is a bit closer, but I wouldn't even say it's a 47-second lead.
Oh! Well, okay, sorry. I got a bit shocked there because of that thing filling up, the suspicion meter filling up, but it was just like a illegal item flash of the VIP guard. That was a bit scary though.
Yeah, that's searching, but it won't end the run. I think that's...
Yeah. It's fine, but like that was a bit scary if the suspicion bar like fills up so fast, you know.
Because otherwise...
It's not alive anymore.
Yeah, people in chat are a bit scared, but I think otherwise we would see a combat if this was a Reaper.
It's definitely fine, but you know, just scared me in a second. So the thing is, okay, so now Dakar is running back. He does still need a street soldier, those guys though.
He got the street soldier same time as Buff got it, but now there's a disguise change and he changed into hippie, so that's the last disguise. And so it's up the ladder and through the hostile area, just may or may not one distraction, but he's really close now, and depending on where the AR is.
Yeah, I assume he has...
Surely he dropped it next to Rico. He was in the mansion area already.
Exactly, I do think so as well. And both of which just so insanely close. Dakar might have the advantage here because he has an exit right nearby the kill, and Buff guy will be like at the kill like around the same time, but he has to still run to the bus stop.
And now I'm hearing that the AR is not next to Rico, it's next to Hippo. It's similar, but it might just make the difference with that extra 30-45 seconds of walk.
It might. I mean, they've done two similar stuff, just like in different orders, and so like this might actually like if he would have had it here, I think he would have had it. Like
absolutely.
Buff still needs like 30 seconds, and he would have definitely had it, and that's gonna make it really really close. And I mean, yeah, it's just more running. I think Buff's gonna take it off of that because the assault rifle is not nearby.
It's a decent amount.
Absolutely crazy.
It's a decent amount of run for Buff to the exit, but Tucker needs to drop down, or climb back up, and he's still turning around. Here's the AI. I think it's 20 seconds for both. Oh my goodness.
It's so close. Tucker needs to avoid reinforcements. He doesn't know how tight this is. And Buff guy has finished. And he sat down. He should have sat down.
No way he does that again. Of course, it's now intentional, but he doesn't know that it's once again photo finish.
If that would have lost him the map, then I mean, I'm so bad. I mean,
it is like incredible.
10 seconds apart. Oh man.
The balls from Buff to do that.
Yeah.
When he knows the next photo finish, I mean, he will see that he's ahead by, I think, 10 or so seconds. Even
15, because like, a little bit of stream delay. On the overlay, Buff definitely finished a bit earlier.
Yeah, 14 seconds, which may stand on console, but if he saw something closer than that, then I think he would be really scared that another map loss comes down to the bench.
That would be insane. Crazy. Absolutely madness. Okay, so it's at 14 seconds apart, of course. In-game time-wise, we're even closer. So, you know, just it was so interesting because they did have different strats, but like the little parts of it were so similar, just in different orders. And that it came out so close, both real-time and in-game time. It's just amazing, man. Like, that was so cool to see.
And I'm really happy to see that it didn't come down to something really stupid or something very unlucky. You could say that the Tucker dodging the enforcers at the end lost him a couple seconds, but not 14. It just came down to the Buff guy having just a tiny bit better optimization, and I think that's the thing you want to see in Roulette.
I do think so as well, yeah. I mean, that was just an amazing map. That's what I really one of those things that I really enjoy about Roulette. It's so two players on such a high level, and then just pull off even something different, and then still it's so close. It's just amazing.
And
yeah.
Sorry, and sometimes in roulette you will just see that the thing that we saw at the start for 3 minutes, they did the same thing with very minor deviations, and then the big branch of they are doing the opposite kills for second and third. But it just, sometimes they do similar things, and of course that sets up for a similar in-game time, but these tiny or even medium-sized changes make all the difference here, and of course that will give Buff the 2 points. I don't really see that this will change.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind that they only loaded in at the start. They didn't have a restart, either of them. So, that just makes it more unlikely. I mean, it's console. I haven't really paid attention to the loading times, but I think it was quite similar, to be honest. Because like they were in at quite the same point. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna not change, but you never know.
So it's one load versus one load, console versus console. The only way that this could be very close if one player did preload and one player didn't. But they are just so veterans of these. I think both of them did it. So
for sure.
Expecting that 10 to 15 second one load on either side, and then Buff either gaining or losing a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And I mean, it's just one load, so I do think we will expect the photo finish announcement quite soon. Calculations there shouldn't take too long.
Chrome X is already typing. He is our admin for the day. Thank you for his efforts in advance, and hope for many photo finishes for his behalf. But he gets a short one to start with. Maybe any moment now.
I mean, I think with those players, most photo finishes are gonna be quite fast.
You don't expect it to be the 7 restarts against 6 restarts, do you?
Yeah, probably not. That always can happen.
Oh yeah.
I've remembered quite a few matches of my own where that, what was something similar to that. But yeah, it also depends on spin map and randomness.
Yeah, and those maps are indeed the most legendary when it just turns so obnoxious or such a struggle was for no reason. But it's very rare with these players.
It is, but it still happens, and for viewers it's always very entertaining. We're just gonna wait out Chromex typing the result here. You can already see both these Duckers on scale. It's gonna be on next map, and there is the result. And yeah, as I said, both one load. Buff for 24 seconds, Ducker for 21 seconds. So yeah, as we expect, it's pretty similar. Doesn't change much. Even gives Buff a further lead, so he wins by 70 seconds, which means Buff wins Santa Fortuna, and we're moving on to Sgáil.
And that changes their head-to-head Santa Fortuna. Now, they have a great rivalry across the trilogy, but the rivalry in Santa Fortuna is now incredible. I don't think anyone has played another opponent 3 times on the same map, but Buff is now 3-0 against Ducker in Santa Fortuna. That's incredible.
That is indeed crazy. Yeah, on all 3 matches they've played, it was a map. Yeah, that happened. That is pretty crazy, for sure. And yeah, now Sgáil. They did play that once in the final. Well, actually, the deciding map in the final, last tourney, won by Ducker, and then with that the R7 championship. So might be a reason why I picked it. We don't know.
Oh yeah, the picks for sure were based on the final, and I think I can see some of the bans be similar to that. It's hard to say what players are focusing on, their own head-to-head or just the general story. Of course, Santa Fortuna is Buff's best map and has showed it against Ducker that he's definitely just incredible there. Ducker in Sgáil has been almost undefeated for close to 2 years now. His 3 losses were from RR1, RR2, and the World Championship where he crashed against Danny Buta. That was a really infamous crash rule-inducing map.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, very true. That is a long time, for sure. Ducker definitely definitely known for his scale. So um, might definitely be a good pick. So no, you don't want to with such a high level match. You don't want to joke around. So it makes sense that he would put out one of his best picks. And yeah, I think it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, thinking about the picks once more, they are very well versed on the longer maps, and they just don't want to risk it by picking a short one, I guess, because you could just throw off your opponent there if you just pick a short map against the big five enthusiast buff guy, but it's not going to happen this time either. We may see some shorter maps later in the RNG period, but not going to spoil it just yet.
Of course not. Yeah, that might be though. We'll see. But of course, definitely buff guy is very known for his liking of long maps. And I mean, scale can be. I think scale is a very interesting middle way here because like you have those spins that can take you 10 minutes because you have to like run like to the top of the tower and then to the very bottom and grab something else, and it's like a huge map vertically, and there's a lot of melee weapons, there's a lot of disguises. So depending on the spin, it can still take a long time or it can be really really short. There are 2-minute spins, there are 10-minute spins, and both can happen. So I'm excited to see what we'll get this time around.
Yeah, it can be another sub 4 real-time spin, which would break the record, of course, or just something much longer. I think speaking of the records, RR stats do need to be updated at least once today. We'll see if it will happen once more tonight. We've had a Hokkaido tied record. Now we have a tie in Hokkaido and Dubai on those short 2-target maps, but not the 1-target maps, apparently.
Yep. And now just under a minute away.
Yeah.
The second map, and I want to remind again. This is first to 6. Luckily, we wouldn't want those two great players to meet earlier and then give us only a 2 or 3 map match. So we're gonna at least see 2 more maps, potentially up to 4 more. In theory, even 5 more. But I don't think they will tie. Quite unlikely. So still a lot of action left in this match.
Luckily, there is this another recent rule that you can have the 0, 1, and 2 second photo finish. She's count as a tie. Still, it's very unlikely, but now we have to say that tie doesn't always mean that they don't finish in 47 minutes, which would be impossible, I believe so. But all 3 results are always on the table, and hopefully it will bring us 5 or 6 maps. And there's the second one for now. Zoe Washington Fire as Chef, and Sophia Washington Hatchet as a Jebediah block.
Ow. I mean, that's just very interesting because like Fire has been a decently new addition, I would say. Haven't seen that often.
Yep.
Not a lot of maps, but Zoe is one of those targets. Well, it is allowed because there's the FUG and a Fireball on her weight there as well, makes it possible. But still a lot of interesting stuff here. Jebediah block, of course, one of the more obnoxious guys or unique ones. So interested how they'll approach this.
Yeah, and I wonder if the chef happens to be trespassing on the 5th floor. I think this is the second straight match that I talk about the Jebediah block peekaboo. Last time it didn't happen, so I just jinxed it yet again. You are just looking at the radio room towards the block area and just throw an item there like the letter opener from that room, and you can peekaboo block there. Could be nice for the second kill, especially if the hatchet is close by in the constant tower above the morgue. But yeah, I think the real exotic part of this spin is the fire, which really haven't been seen much after being added around the World Championship, perhaps R7.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely can't recall much. I mean, but you did speak up a good point because the chef is surprisingly allowed up there. So has surprisingly a lot of allowance.
Yeah.
But this is interesting. So like we see the peekaboo you talked about by buff. He started custodian and ran up immediately. Now didn't get the peekaboo even though the bar was full.
That's strange. It seems like the bullet distraction was overridden by calling in the bullet distraction. It's sometimes weird, and that is a pause by Ducker, and it could be another Isle of Sgáil crash.
No way. Oh yeah, it looks like it. Oh my god, that is crazy.
Wow.
Again on Isle of Sgáil. Ow. Haven't seen that before. Just throwing a shovel. That is crazy.
Yeah,
Really...
it seems like the map itself just doesn't favor him. Or just, I mean, 2 crashes, it's not the whole lot to draw conclusions from.
Still crazy. I mean, he will have to reboot this game. We're of course not gonna see a respin, but damn, I mean that's showing him a bit behind. But it doesn't look like Buff has problems with Peekaboo right now. Anyway, failed for the second time, so not sure. I mean, it seems one of those things. Oh, that worked in practice always, like, you know, and then in the match suddenly doesn't. So he's got to figure out how to deal with that right now.
Some things have changed over the last few months. I wouldn't say the Peekaboo, the block Peekaboo would be one of them. It just feels like that something that worked for all of Hitman 2 and most of Hitman 3 might slowly changing for some reason and becomes more difficult.
Yeah, might be the case. I mean, Hitman is strange and ever-changing game for some reason. You know, it's like Zoe Scar suddenly behaving differently. It is kind of weird, but Ducker now booting up his game again, and Buff is trying it for a third time. Let's see, this time... Yeah, no, I think it has to do with the... Oh, no, this time he gets it. He was reporting into the guard, but then he turned around, and now he's coming towards the chamber here. So the third time was a charm in this case. Not sure why it didn't work for those first 2 times, but you know, I think he's gonna just be happy that it actually did work at some point.
Glad he waited out, because it seemed like it wasn't going to work for a while. Just going to say, or quote rather, the rule about game crashes, because people are asking in chat. Only if it is obvious that the crash would have made an impact on the overall outcome of the map will be respun. These respins are limited to 1 per person per match. But as you can see, Buff has been restarting the game, trying to get this Peekaboo. There is no obvious change in outcome. It wasn't a Ducker winning run that's interrupted here, so no restart.
Exactly. I think that has to be mentioned because it's like the rule has been kind of changed from last tourney, because we have seen too many respins last tourney, and thus it was decided to change up from, like, you know, like almost every time respinning when it was, you know, when we didn't know if it had made an impact or not. Now it's only if we know it had an impact. So, no, gives it more leeway, and just should still cover the most extreme bases. But anyway, Buff is now approaching 2-minute mark, and is gonna pull the radio lure on Sophia here. Oh, okay. Did look first, she walked a bit further, but yeah, got her there. Of course, he does have the Gemini Lock Disguise already here now, but he does not have the headshot, to my knowledge.
Didn't see it just yet either, just being a juggling disguises there. And one thing we didn't mention either, Ducker has been doing this during practice. This is a very Ducker thing to do, and some players have been doing it. It's not niche, but not his either. Starting ARC member and using the phone to lure Zoe, and then with the guard, there's the 2 KOs very quickly and without a seeker needed.
Yeah, I mean, he does do that, but I'm just interested how he's gonna get the fire kill from there.
He won't. That's a very good... Is there a barrel in the morgue? I don't think so, but there's a very small chance that it is, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's Ducker, you know. I hope he knows what he's doing, but you know, and like I didn't realize it on the first time where he crashed. So just you know, just normal phone lure. Then I realized, you know, it's a fire kill. How is he gonna do that? Oh, there's a barrel in the morgue here. Okay, then we just saw it there. Interesting.
Okay, much better for him than I was fairly confident that he doesn't do it out of habit, and I mean, there's always possible to misread the spin, but Sophia Fire would be banned, so I think he would have some suspicions. And now you can see the other approach for block. Oh no, he's just going to get through this door just yet, because you can do the bullet distraction around that area and get to block, but it won't happen just now. Ducker gets perfect timing for the radio, uses the pistol flashy to turn off the radio.
Very nice. Yeah, looks like a very good approach as well. And oh, just very interesting. I mean, he did. I mean, there could be potentially a very nice time save if he, gets a Sophia kill on that barrel in the morgue. Because of course, the MOC lure is very nice and doesn't take that long. Yeah, I mean that's just not a long drag for Ducker. Might be very, very nice.
I wonder what is quicker, the not a long drag to the morgue, or the very much long but walk or potentially sprint by Zoe in the MOC room. I think it's very comparable.
Yeah, I think so too. It would be interesting to see how that would end up. So now Docker has secured a Jabba block. I think he didn't have a. Did not go with the peekaboo or something. I couldn't really do it either. He's because in legal disguise. But he has to get that disguise, of course.
He'll be turning around these guards without a sedative item. Sorry, he'll be hoping for no eyes on here, and that to remain the case.
I mean, it is a bit difficult. Now the content is approaching, and that's just gonna be very tight. He has some, lay him down there now, and I think that should be fine.
A lot of cycles to dodge there, and we won't know for sure for at least 1 more minute until I think the Raider takes 1, 2, 4 rotations. But for now, Ducker's still green. Ducker gets the first kill and has Zoe set up.
Yeah, which is very cool. Ducker is like, well, I mean now 1.5 minutes game time behind. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he looks very good. Buff working on the chef disguise. Has one in this little side room. He's gonna corner him. I guess he doesn't need the shot, or felt like he needs the shot. So that disguise. Now it's gonna make his way upwards. But if I'm not wrong, I don't think he has done anything for Zoe yet.
Nope, that room is still functioning, the MOC room rather.
Yeah, which means that it's gonna take a while. So I think Ducker is looking a bit closer to the being done here. Now gonna just lure a chef in here as well, of course. As Jabba block, he can go pretty much anywhere. So no problem with trespassing here.
He won't lose time with the distractions either. It was a bit risky, I would say, but of course the door was closed and
nothing that my nerves would have could have ever done without sweating profoundly.
For sure.
But if Ducker was a different beat, he just did that. No problem. Got such a disguise. And is now making his way back to Sophia. To Zoe, I mean. He has knocked out, and now Buff has the MOC room cleared out, but he still, he still needs to pull the trigger. I think he's going to do that right now, changing into the Master of Ceremonies, and now it is triggered. But it's still gonna be like 1.5 minutes till she arrives.
And I'm curious if he has any way to speed it up, and he's going to do the whole thing. No, just talks to the ARC members, because there is the way to just drag him, or also let her walk to the barrel, or place something near the barrel and do it remotely. I think the approach will matter a lot, and I'm not quite sure what he has in the inventory remaining.
Now, okay, so Joe has a snail and dropped that for these 2 guards, which is interesting. I'm not sure what that will accomplish. He has still a custodian knocked out there. Is that Colmer custodian?
That's Colmer.
I would hope. Okay, good. I would hope so, yeah. So it looks like he's got plans to knock her out here.
And drag her all the way to the... Oh, I'm so sorry for the ad, but he was behind and now we are stuck with 30 seconds. Please don't do anything special.
I mean, I can talk you through what he's doing. He has now knocked out the guard and is dragging Zoe.
it will be the drag all the way to the barrel, and I think that was obvious once he nailed the 2 guards and just wants to make it as quick as possible, but it's still going to take half a minute or so to get there.
So he has now arrived to Zoe at the barrel. 2 arc members are gone, and I was shooting it once, shooting it twice, and that's the kill. Buff has done both kills. Is now running to the exit, to the chopper. And the shot disguise found the guard disguise from the knockdown sphere bodyguard, and it's gonna exit in like 10 seconds.
Yep, we are back live here, and actually a bit ahead, and there's Buff with the finish, and Ducker with still the drag remaining. It seems to be the result, which the crash itself didn't change the outcome, but the outcome would be different without the change. So it's like the hindsight making.
That is absolutely crazy. Ducker looked like he was ahead, but now then he had to knock out all the morgue room, which took a while, and then suddenly he was not ahead because Buff just rushed through the MLC thing so quickly. It's not gonna make the photo finish window, so man, that hurts for Ducker.
Yeah, we'll be winning the in-game time battle, but real-time wise, I think the 4-0 will come any second now.
True. There we go. Man, I mean, what's to say about this, Buff? Buff had 2 early restarts with a failed peekaboo, and then Ducker crashed, and it caused him to... Ducker is, in typical Ducker fashion, didn't have a restart or something, just made it practically first try, but that crash, just unlucky. It's just unlucky.
Yeah, I guess the one more thing for Buff, or like not specifically to make Ducker's win more obvious, if Ducker was like a minute quicker, or they have finished at the same time, Buff would have at least that initial load, and I think at least 2 or 3 console loads. On the other hand, Ducker would have had the 2 initial loads once after the reboot. So I guess it's really hard to call, but wouldn't have been like an obvious Ducker comeback in the photo finish. All around just an unfortunate situation. And, another 2 points for Buff, but well deserved, obviously.
Exactly. But yeah, gotta put a check mark behind it. Unfortunate, it happens. That's how HITMAN is. And means that we'll move on. Buff guy is now leading 4-0. And we're gonna have a first RNG map, which is Paris. Really short map. One of the shortest one for sure. But despite that, we can see Ducker has played it. Of course, Ducker, he has just a lot of experience. Won that map plenty of time as well.
Yeah, so many maps for Ducker with like 10 or even more appearances. Of course, Paris is here 13. I only had 10 here, but that must be some RR1 or R2 results. 9-3 and that one tie. Trying to think what would have been that tie. His last match obviously against the Soviet duo. Yeah. Buff is a strong 50-50 there. Not quite a coin flip map, but it will be a coin flip for him to take this map or start a Ducker comeback on this shorter map.
Indeed. Ducker is like kind of in the defensive position now as to win 3 maps in a row to still win this match. But it's entirely possible. It's not like that's something that's completely out of reach. So I'm looking forward to more action. But of course, Buff has that nice advantage of he just wins one. He just has to win 1 more maps out of the next 3, and he has the match in the bag. But of course, there's a lot of psychological pressure as well, which we all know. So it's not as easy as you might think.
Yeah, these next 3/4 maps will come down to who, I guess, just practice for the match more. Of course, as of this tournament, they don't just know the first 2 maps, their own picks, but all the RNG maps as well. They know it. Everyone knows it in the Discord because they can read it, but for the sake of the spectators, we won't say it. We have Paris first in 5 seconds, and then we'll see if Ducker comeback starts here. He definitely has the capability to do so. Yanni?
Thank you. I will take it. We have for Viktor Novakov the letter opener as Pelestaff, and for Dali Margolov SMG as Vampire Magician.
So the disguises aren't that all over the place. The Ethic disguise for the upstairs target, and Pelestaff is not quite on Novikov's floor. Well, it is on Novikov's natural floor, but we usually see him stay on the first floor.
Exactly, that's how it works in Roulette, and only, of course, yeah, as you said, roams the bottom floor, but we as Roulette players, we don't like that, so just keep him one floor up. But I'm sure most players will have no problem with that. Of course, letter opener, I'm not sure right now where it's that. I think there are multiple though.
There should be one or more on the top floor. The one I'm thinking of is from Tech Crew start, which is where Buffy will start, so I wonder if he gets a quick Victor ISO and letter opener. But and near the Sheik's room, or as well as in the Sheik's room, so that would be a couple of options for first floor.
Now this is interesting because both players are just starting in the auction. Ducker with the Seeker, Lovka with the Medic drop. Both things accomplish the same goal. And yeah, it looks like they both have a strict plan here. Gonna rush straight to the Vampire Magician and get that kill down. I mean, not straight. Buff first. Gonna get this. Gonna get the guard in here. Which is interesting. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't really need the guard disguise, or needs the guard to get out of there. It's no loud kill or something. But he's gonna do it anyway. I mean, maybe he doesn't make it a loud kill, because I'm not sure if he has brought an SMG.
So this is an AR, and he has the one-handed SMG in hand before the Calmer was shown, Seeker was shown. But I think the real reason is just an exit disguise, so that he doesn't have to stay in the suit anymore, and just can get a letter opener from this floor or the floor below.
Yeah, it's not the worst idea, but interestingly enough, he doesn't change it. I mean, yeah, of course, that makes sense. He doesn't change into it. In suited is easy enough to get through here, but that cost him like a lot of time, and now Ducker is already back in the Vampire Magician. Shot Dahlia, it's not gonna bother with that guard, it's gonna climb out again. But he did knock out, but yeah, you said an exit disguise is important, because you don't want to exit in the Vampire Magician, or have to run all the way back to the suit. But Ducker knocked out these two guards. It's gonna take one of these, so that's very nice. And it's looking to go, towards the ladder leading down to the first floor, which would indicate maybe he's gonna go for a Seeker and Victor.
There's the Seeker in hand, and very well done by Ducker. It's a very tiny thing to just go for the disguise first while the Seeker is done. Buff was waiting for her in the bathroom, and still haven't got the kill yet. That looks like about a minute of disadvantage already, so if Ducker can nail this Seeker shot, which he does, this is looking really good for him now.
Yep. Definitely. I think it's a great strat for sure. Buff now gonna run the same way, and I love to see it both. So yeah, it seems like both gonna go with the Seeker strat for Victor, but as I said, Ducker quite a bit ahead. It's gonna run through here. Should open that. Oh, should open that door.
Almost looking like a pause buffer, but with the SMG it will happen anyway. Yeah. And he will have the letter opener here. Yeah.
I mean, there is like a thing where you can buffer the SMG for like a single shot. I'm not sure if he tried that, but pause buffer, not something that.
Yeah, not the intention here anyway. But Ducker has the letter opener now, and we'll be going for the Pelestaff, at least the floor below. There's none on this floor, and then he'll have to just run around this, how would you call this, atrium area, the above the catwalk, while you are just passing, to dodge these two securities, and then you can get to Victor for the second kill.
Exactly. Ducker's just running. has that letter opener. Just needs any pedal staff and just gonna take this one. Waiting outside. Buff guy hit in the closet. He got the guard to walk with him. That's not gonna be a problem. Knocks them both out. But he also needs that pedal staff. But Daka is just just seems quite a bit ahead of here. They're also really doing the same thing, but just the change up that Buff waited for her and Daka just went after this guy immediately. I think that's just kind of just decide the map here.
Going for the same letter opener as well. There is not a lot you can do differently here, and it's just one difference that Tucker went for the Vampire Magician, gained 1 minute there, and he is very likely to keep this advantage here, especially after Buff getting recorded by the camera.
Yep. That's also definitely a factor. Have to rage it in. Have to go to the basement. It's not that bad. You can definitely go to the basement anyway to grab a pedal staff. For the free one. So I assume he's gonna do that. Really not the worst thing ever.
Was just going to say...
That has been so close.
Yeah, was just going to say that it's about 50-50 whether they go for the free one in the basement or the, I guess, the lured one in the first floor. So one player does one thing and the other player does the other. Won't really make any difference here. Ducker has both targets down. Will be just jogging to that main exit and will be taking his first 2 points after. Okay, well, one more enforcer to dodge.
But to save here with Kurt, yeah.
I think it will be no issue. And there are a couple as well
outside,
but here, but
yeah, no problem to dodge those. The guys, of course, have a lot of enforcers, but that should really be it for Ducker. In time, Duck still, Buff guy still on his way to Victor. There's no way he can catch up on that one.
Yeah, comeback begins here, or at least for one map. Ducker will be hoping it goes all three, but we won't have a sweep, but we will have a map number 4 in Marrakesh, staying in Season 1.
Exciting. I mean, yeah, we did have both picks were Season 2, and let's bring some change up, but there was a very interesting Paris. And I can see that Buff pretty much doing the same now. I was gonna look to the other exit, but still. As I said, it was just a little thing that decided it all. But I'm sure he's not going to be too bummed about it. It's still 4-2. Daka needs to win 2 maps, Buff guy 1 map. But with it's just really tense on all maps.
And just so close. Of course, we had the photo finish. We have had the close result, which would have been. Either way, without the crash for Ducker.
Yeah.
And we have this minute and a half win by Ducker. I think by the end it was a bit more back and forth for Buff, but 2 maps to 1, 4 points to 2. Still a match point for Buff, and going to Marrakesh now. We'll see the stats in a moment.
Yeah.
Only 1 win for Buff so far against the juggernaut that is Ducker with all those wins in Season 1.
Yeah, of course, looking strong towards the second one, but it's if Ducker wins the next one, he can tie it up, and it's all fair game again. But we have to say that all 3 maps were really close so far. And you don't really expect anything less from those 2 great players from this final of last tourney. But still, it's just great to see they both deliver such great match quality. Really not really any restarts, and just top notch roulette.
Yeah, just what we like to see. I wonder if there's anything going on, but no, less than 4 minutes until the next spin. Just ticking to 20 past the hour, so that's now 3 minutes. And this is really delivering so far. Yeah. Just looking for confirmation from HITMAN because it has it's counting all the stats from all the beginning of time. I only have it from since RR3, and actually Ducker is undefeated since the World Championship in 2020. His only 2 losses here came in RR3. I think it was you and Toby, but it doesn't really matter at this point, just so long ago.
Might be, I'm really not sure. Ducker is a missed seeker. Luckily, it's not the match yet. just practicing the Seeker strat here.
Yeah.
Of course, Mario Kart is also one of those maps that has seen quite a bit of change over the last few tourneys. I definitely can, it's fair to say. It was previously, it was one of the most straightforward maps, I would argue, on earlier tourneys, because you pretty much always wanted to get claws first, and to get that illustrious 2.5 minute timing when it's at the rail. Because yeah, you really wanted that, and then because also not like pretty much all of these guys are not hard to get, and you could make all of them. You could make the timing for claws on all of them. So it was pretty straightforward, not a lot of variation. But now you have the Seeker strat as well. With the variation, you can make him go to the consulate bathroom. You can make him go to the shisha cafe bathroom, and that's a change. And then you have the honeycomb as well for claws, or just the good old whale timing. So yeah, it's really been changed up a lot, and some interesting potential.
Very well said. We of course can still end up with a spin that will end up be straightforward or just very obvious old spin, but I think at this point it is getting more and more advantageous to just try out this Seeker, and then so many so many, I guess, so much variety is what I wanted to say here about where to KO Reza, which disguises can you get in the meantime, and what other things you can do here before. What would happen after here is the Klaus isolation at around 2 to 2.5 minutes, but not on the balcony this time, but in the garage.
Yes. Okay, yeah, just Buff and Ducker was practicing a bit, Buff just loading in. Definitely on console you want that to be preloaded for fast loading times, but the spin is almost here, and of course I'll let you take that one.
Thank you. Will we see the Ducker comeback continue, or can Buff finish it off and move on to round 4? We have Reza Zaydan, Injected Poison as Consulate Intern, and Klaus Chandberg, Letter Opener as Consulate Security.
Ooh, I mean, 2 consulate disguises, even though it's not in the consulate, but it's struggling to find that one. Interesting though, because of course the Letter Opener is also in the consulate, the only one. And the security disguise, of course, is quite easy to get. So that means, yeah, Klaus Strandberg is a really, I would say, really easy kill.
What do you do here? I think it's a very nice dilemma. Do you do the Klaus kill in 30 seconds, or 45 I say, with the Letter Opener and the security in the office, or do you get Steve the Intern and then just get the regular Klaus kill? Because missing the Consulate Intern, or just not getting it at the start, can be a problem indeed.
Because of course it is pretty well known at the start, when you start on the rooftop, that you know where can isolate him straight at the beginning. If you don't do that, then I mean, if you know his timing really well, of course get him at another timing as well. I wouldn't, but looks like Ducker is opting to start in the consulate and go for that Klaus kill immediately. Buff started main start, but it looked like that was unintentional. Maybe he wanted to start rooftop with the
he did. Okay. He's loading now for rooftop, and I think Ducker has the answer for our dilemma. He's going for the Klaus kill first, but also has the emetic device for the intern, and he's either hoping or he knows that Steve will go to the shisha bathroom. And I think, given recent developments, well, not recent because the emetic patch has been forever ago, I would say that's the case. He just has to wait a minute or so.
Yeah. I do think so as well, but I think it's gonna be still be really interesting how that shapes up. Ducker gonna knock Klaus out, grab that Judas guys, like it's mine. Then that should be the first kill down very early.
46 seconds.
Yeah. Flying fast, but of course he now has to get the console intern, which is gonna be interesting. Then I mean, the kill method itself, Injected Poison, shouldn't pose much of a problem.
So most of us will be guessing, or I guess having some educated guesses. Ducker, with all this experience, he has a very good chance that he knows where the intern is. we know where the lamp store is. It is near the Shisha Cafe. It's whichever direction you want to say it. You can imagine on the map. But where Steve will go next is that he takes a huge loop towards the main start, and I would say around the 1 to 2 minute mark he should be near the fortune teller actually, before getting to main start and then talking to the headmaster's son, and then getting to the free waiter, or the sleeping waiter rather, at 3-4 minutes. So I think that's around the area that we will see Steve, and I just hope that Tucker knows as well.
Yep. It's definitely not undoable, but yeah, it's great. You definitely need that knowledge of this route. Now, buff guy, of course, like I said, they had a different approach. Did get the the content into with that like early on from that rooftop start, which is of course fairly convenient. Now I'm gonna do the classic lure of the security guard, and should have the close kill fairly soon done as well. Then of course he has already disguise. I think it really depends now on how fast can Duck get the disguise.
And how long will it take?
Sorry,
and how long will it take for the intern to walk to the bathroom? If he does, he should be. But it's really dangerous to think that Ducker with a quick kill and already approaching the second disguise, he would be any sort of ahead here. I would say that Buff not having to spend a minute or so on the intern disguise is at least evening this map up.
Yep, I would say so. I think it just really depends. I'm quite curious how fast you can find him. Okay, I mean Ducker did find the intern. That's always the first step.
And
medic him.
He's right next to the fortune teller, and we know the fortune teller does go to the Shisha Cafe, so there's no doubt about that we'll see that KO in the box, or hiding him in the box soon. But when will it be? I think a minute is a good estimate here.
For sure. I mean, but now Buff did have to grab the letter opener, which took some time as well, as we mentioned. And now he's gonna make his way back, and he's gonna get his first kill. But you know, that's a fairly decent time that he had to take for that. And it's can change back into the console intern and get out of there. But of course, he's much further from Razor than Ducker. So I think it'll be fairly even. He's approaching the toilet, and Ducker will probably be on his way like a bit quicker. But it's gonna be really close. So once again.
The one thing I didn't understand is the way that Ducker KO'd and jagged the two bodies at the bottom floor of the consulate. He wanted to get the elite soldier. He didn't want to be using this security, which has of course many more enforcers, but that's 30 seconds lost, which could be the difference, but the main difference can also be, as others said in chat, just if either of them will go for the key. You just don't see that often, but this is that close of a match.
It is that close of a match that it could be potentially deciding. It's not like a huge time difference, you know. Main exit isn't far away either, but it can be. I mean, it also depends on the the enforcer, how he stands. It's just really tight. And Buff actually did end up being faster in Razor's in the school, because he just from the consulate to the school there's this direct path that he could take, and Buff is compromised. Oh no!
By whom?
I know what happened. He got the glitch that I went on about a bit ago. He chanked the guy at the entrance to the school, and he got woken up, and that guard compromised him, even though he had no knowledge of him. I hate that glitch, but it's a pronoun thing.
Thank you so much for being in this cast again, that you could tell us, because that's really niche, and Buff is another unfortunate victim of this, and it turns this map towards Ducker, but still just entering the school area.
Yeah, I sadly get that a lot. Like every 10th comma or something, I get that glitch that that's too much. I don't like 20th comma. I get that glitch that just wakes up and just compromises you for no reason.
This game is brutal sometimes, and Ducker doesn't know that, but just when Buff restarted, he started to take it safe with his body. We'll have to wait out this cycle. I guess 10 or so seconds until he can jump in and use the intercom, and from that it's just your very baseline marker spin. Yeah,
Exactly. And I mean, it was really close. I couldn't really tell what would have happened. I was a bit ahead, but now, of course, I was a humongous lead. Has turned on the intercom, and their Razor is approaching.
yeah, we are far from the Dakar finish. He needs to get the second kill, and we know how finicky these live kills can get, and that is almost a peekaboo. He's getting called out for that. For that throw, and will indeed get a peekaboo from here.
Oh my, it will complicate it a lot. I mean, the good thing is,
no! Oh, no! He didn't have the gun, or didn't use the gun. I wanted to say that I hope he waits and thinks it out, and perhaps uses the gun. Of course, that will start a lockdown, but that's your only chance here. You cannot run around targets reliably to get that point.
Like with fiberwire, you can do that. I would argue, because you can just run around them and do that. But poison is even more finicky than fiberwire. Like, oh man, that's the thing. The thing is with Razor, he's such an annoying target if you get him in lockdown. Like, the whole school is in lockdown. But the thing here is that it's a poison kill. So even if he would went into lockdown, if it's an accident kill, it wouldn't really be that much of a problem.
Yeah, exactly. And now Dakar will have to restart again. That's another 30 seconds lost. And almost 2 minute lead for Buff, who I think will have the better in-game time stretch. So it is once again his to lose now. But he did the exact same thing with the shopkeeper. And I mean, these compromised glitches aren't connected, I assume. So it's just even more unlikely that he gets it twice in a same match.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it's just so unfortunate, man. Like, but it also belongs to it. Also is Santa Fortuna, the bit of a dirty side. This stuff can happen. But it is it belongs to the game as well. Did you hate to see it, of course. Like having a bit of issue on the first try, he got past there very closely. He did get past there. Now it's struggling a bit. Maybe that also has to do with the restarts.
Buff.
No, Buff pick. Yeah. Because the lockpick. It's now gonna attempt to get the letter open again.
Yeah, unless if this changes the cycles, which I don't see happening because he's drinking the coffee there on the left hand side. This is the, I guess, the least substantial delay. Oh, okay.
Dakar going loco now.
Dakar has had enough of him, yeah, of those people.
Yep. Just no way he's gonna do it again. Just, yeah. I mean, I can assume how annoyed he must be by that. By that rip. It never feels good. Trip like that. The door's still open. That was.
Yeah, and that's when you are multiple restarts in, then the game starts to do some funky things. There's the Dakar with a kill. I think it's like 8 seconds quicker now, even thanks to the bullet panic. No one panics in here, luckily, but it's all on Buff now. If he can get this in the next 5 minutes, I think that's generous. He can have it in 3.
Yeah, I would say so too. It's doing the same thing again, and I mean, I think Buff probably doesn't even know what he did wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong really. It's just got screwed over. I have to say that clearly.
And the bullet panic caused Dakar the restart. I was going to say that he had a really cheeky time save there because the security guard went up those stairs and Dakar had no enforcer to dodge to exit the consulate, but sadly the same person went to the office of Klaus.
Yep. I mean, yeah, bullet panic looked very cool, but panics do have some drawbacks.
So
and now Buff this time got past this area without getting compromised, which is very nice.
That's I guess so unfortunate for him, and then it's fair that he wins the map, but of course then why couldn't Ducker win the map despite his crash? So it just happens in roulette, of course. First to 6, things can happen on either side, but Buff is once again really close now, and that same life kill away, so let's just not call it early either.
Yeah. You gotta be really, you gotta be really careful with this throw here. Daka was like hiding behind, like with the game mechanic, hiding behind the wall and throwing something. And to my knowledge, that like, as with many walls in this game, they're not really like walls. They're more like suggestions for the NPCs where you could maybe potentially pretend that you didn't see something through. But just no pressure. Just a suggestion from the game. And if you hide behind that, then you like pretty much always get seen throwing by Razor, which complicates that a bit. But Buff very nicely crouches here, and that definitely work out. Got that throw. Should walk over there. It should be a much easier inject.
Yep, he's walking, and we will see some suspicion meter, but he threw it in the corner very nicely. Mirrors are close, but really not a factor here. No GRB, and that may be the last kill of this match, because Buff has both targets down, doesn't jump into this guard's view cone, can take the elite guard disguise and exit main in 20 seconds. We will have our winner.
Yes, that's gonna be the case. No way he rips now here, and Daka definitely can't catch up. I mean, yeah, what a match, honestly. What a match.
Incredible.
It definitely did deliver. On all maps it was really close. Sadly on Marrakesh in the end, it wasn't as close as it could have been. For those two rips. But I do think it would have been very interesting to compare those two strats. And this match had everything. It had close, it had stupid rips, it had had great gameplay. It was just an amazing match all around. And I think it was very close. Honestly, both players played really well, but I think it's fair to say that Buff is our deserved winner today.
This match had at least 5 maps of action in this. We only got to 4, and Buff wins 6-2, 3 maps to 1. Look how much it means to him to defeat Ducker after the final, and is in the top 6 again, second place finisher from RR7. What a match indeed.
Yeah, I know it would to me.
And of course, very heartbreaking for Ducker, and commiserations as well. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Sorry for interrupting.
Sorry, I had to. I had something in my throat, so
okay.
Due to my mic for a second. Yeah, that is of course happening with Ducker, especially with that crash on Sgáil, and then that GRB on Marrakesh. But that's how it works. I was just a bit unlucky today. I really got to say that Ducker was quite unlucky. And you need skill, but you also need luck to win games. That just the way how these things are. But I think we still had a great match. It was really incredible, and I'm very thankful that I got to cast it with you.
I'm very thankful that you could join me for this. Oh my goodness, I will go to sleep very shortly. But first, there are a couple extra scenes for you to show. The brackets first, of course. This is the console side and the winners bracket round 3. This actually ends the round here, and Buff Guy advancing to play Toby Norton in round 4. One of these two will be top 3 and in the semi-final, playing for the grand final spot. The other half is even more intriguing because these are two newcomers, the rookie Joker J and K Kenny in his second tournament. These 4 have already got their top 6 finishes, and of course a bit longer journey for the losers bracket players now, including Ducker, who is in match 42 playing Chromax first in round 4. And we also have, I guess I just do a really quick roundup here. Handsmiji versus Phanium will play the winner of Ducker versus Chromax, and then the bottom half needs 2 more matches from round 3. Soviet versus Script, the winner will play Linux, and Nizuko-chan will play TK47, and Crudy awaits the winner.
Yeah, that's the state of the console bracket. Already a lot of players eliminated. Mm-hmm. Really thinning out the player field here. But a lot of great matches await us here. I think I'm looking forward to all of them. So it's gonna be very nice. And yeah, let's see what matches await us next.
Yeah, and very lastly, the significant moment for Ducker. For his 7th title, he will need to win 5 matches and then the grand final. Not impossible, but a very tall order, so look out for him against a new console winner, perhaps.
Loser bracket went, like, it's just a lot more matches, you know? Definitely the case, but if anyone can do it, then it's Ducker, probably.
Yeah, absolutely, so it will be very interested to see him play, of course, and everyone else as well. We got some very great rookies there, second turning players, and all the veterans, the finalists. The console bracket is always like anyone's game, and then somehow Ducker always ends up winning, but it's always good to see.
I think you summed it up pretty well. It's everyone's game, and in the end, Ducker wins.
Exactly. I think the next matches here, the next 2 at least, are PC bracket side, but let's see our upcoming matches. Next, Mika versus Frivolous at 2 a.m. Central European Summer Time, so that's just a bit over 2 hours from now. That will be on Barbecue's channel. And then currently we have 3 matches for Thursday, starting Mikul versus some random person. And then we can see the Nezuko-chan versus TK47 match from the console side, Eclipse versus Gordini Roy, and you can see the Friday matches as well. And of course, with the potential of more matches scheduled throughout the days. So yeah, any takeaways, Yanni? Any last words here? Amazing match we had.
I think pretty much everything that has to be said already has been said. I mean, it was just an amazing match, and winner, and we had a lot of fun with this one. And thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you could join me, and very happy that it was an entertaining match. Commiserations to Ducker, and congrats to Buff, of course. It's a big win for him. And very curious to see how the console bracket progresses here. Thank you so much to Chromax for adminning this match. GG's again to both players. Thank you everyone for watching, and see you guys for the next match. Bye bye.
Bye.